All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to extend what we did yesterday with linear functions and go to absolute value functions and graphs and transformations. We're going to shift them around like we did yesterday. Don't forget those gestures. They'll be back today. Maybe even add one. So here we go. First of all, the parent function. Remember, the parent is what the absolute value graph basically looks like. And just so you know, the absolute value graph, you remember this from Algebra 1, may not. It is basically a line that's been, think about it, absolute value is always positive. So it's basically what we did yesterday with y equals x, which goes through 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, all those. But the difference is absolute value can't be negative. So we can't keep going down here. So what we do instead is it bounces. Like if you think about this, if you were to plug in -1 into that x, absolute value of -1 is +1, so it's -1, +1. If I plugged in -2, I'd get +2. So you get a V shape. Absolute value is always a V shape. It's like two lines that intersect at 0. That's what the parent function looks like. And again, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, -1, 1, -2, 2, -3, 3, and it keeps on going and going and going. All right, vertical shifts, much like yesterday. I'm kind of laughing because there's music going on in the background. I can't figure out where it's coming from. Vertical shifts has absolute value of x +3. When there's a number outside, and we did this some yesterday, the +3 shifts that graph up 3 units. So instead of beginning at 0, I'm going to start at 3, up 1 over 1, up 2. Same graph. It's just been shifted up 3 units. Slope is the same on both lines and been shifted up 3. The second one, x is absolute value of x -2. The same thing, except the graph's been shifted down 2. So it's beginning at 0, 0. I'm going to start down 2 and draw my V shape, my absolute value graph. Good looking picture. All right, next one. Next one is horizontal shifts. If the number is inside, we talked about this yesterday. No, we did not either. This is a new one. Sorry about that. If the number is inside, instead of the absolute value, instead of shifting the graph up or down, it's going to shift it left or right, the opposite of what you think. All right, up or down. Sorry, left or right, opposite of what you think. One more time. Left or right, opposite of what you think. So because there's a -4 inside, I'm going to shift this graph right 4, opposite of what you think. Up 1 over 1, up 2 over 2. Same graph, just been shifted right 4. Right now, if there's a +1 inside, exactly the same thing. Shift opposite of what you think, left or right. Because it's a +1, I'm going to shift to left 1. Draw the same graph. Up 1 over 1, up 2 over 2. Keep going like that. So it's the same graph, but when you have a number inside, it shifts it left or right. Just like if you have a number outside the absolute value, it shifted your graph up or down. All right, we have 2 more here. Or we can also do reflections, much like yesterday. Remember, we have a negative sign in the front that reflects it across the x-axis. It kind of flips the graph upside down. Normally, remember, I would draw the graph. Let me change colors here. I would draw the graph of this one. If it didn't have the negative sign, we would just go through, 1, 1, 2, 2, like that. And -1, 1, -2, 2. Make our V up there. Because the negative's in the front, it's going to reflect it or flip it across the x-axis. We're just going to take it down here. It's going to be an upside down V instead of a V going upward. Same size, everything else is just, reflected because of the negative sign. The negative sign in front reflects or flips it across the x-axis. Now, the second one on this slide, I combined something here. Notice the +2's inside. Don't forget what the +2 inside does. It shifts it left or right, opposite of what you think. The +2 means it's going to shift to the left 2, and then the negative sign is going to flip it, so it's going to go just like that. All right, so that's what the reflections do. All right, we got one more new thing, and it is vertical stretches and shrinks. And we did this yesterday also. If there's a number bigger than 1, absolute value bigger than 1, in the front, it's a vertical stretch. If there's one less than 1, like the 1/2, it is a vertical shrink. And here's what a stretch does. Notice there's no negative sign. There's no shifting anywhere. I'm going to start at 0, 0, like normal. The 3, instead of going up 1 over 1, it kind of changes the slope. I'm going to go up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. Same thing on this side, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. Your V is going to get much steeper, right? I'm not doing a tremendous job drawing that, but it's a steeper V. Now, when you get the 1/2 in the front, it's going to be a much flatter V. It's going to flatten it out a little bit because it's a vertical shrink. It's like you're compressing. In other words, it's compressing. It's like you're pushing down on it, making it fatter. So this one, instead of going up 1 over 1, I'm going to go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. And then what happens is the V gets flattened out, or it gets shrunk. And by shrunk, I know you can't see me right now, but picture my one hand on top of the other and just pressing down, like you're pressing on a V. Think about what happens to it when you press down on a V. It gets fatter like that. All right, last slide. Here we go. I put, can you handle this? I put one of everything on here. This is everything except for there's no negative sign. Okay, so that's all. Now, when you start to graph this, we're gonna start in here. It's gonna be right 1. Think about what we know. Shift right 1, which puts me there. Then I have a +3 outside. That's up 3, which puts me there. So I'm starting right there. There's a 2 in the front. The 2 is a vertical stretch. So instead of going up 1 over 1, I'm going to go up 2 over 1 from there, up 2 over 1 from there. I'm going to draw my V, connect the dots, blah, 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 and there it is. All right, now they're going to have you describe in your homework like what you did. So here's what we would say. We'd say I shifted, or just shift right 1, shift up 3, and vertical stretch by 2. So in your homework, they're going to have you do a couple of things. They're going to have you graph first and also describe exactly what you did. And that's it. And as always, we'll work on this tomorrow quite a bit. And you'll be so good at it, it'll be scary. But I will see you in class tomorrow. Look forward to it. See you then.